I hope you'll forgive me for starting out this way, but how's the climate in Copenhagen?
It's overheated.
It's overheated.
It is overheated. It's getting hotter all the
will.
time. Yes, I will. Because, wait, could we take a break, though, just for a minute?
Yes.
We have
hot. I have some hot cookies.
hot cookies
Hot
here. This
cookies.
is Stephanie Green
Hello.
of Green and Glover.
And this is
Thank you.
This is a different green, but that's the Stephanie, isn't she?
Hi.
Well, would you lean in here so we can get a picture?
There
of her?
she is.
Isn't
There she is.
beautiful?
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
But
Appreciate it.
unfortunately, I don't have any Stars of David.
That's
for our
okay.
Jewish viewers.
No, that's all right. That's
all
fine.
right.
This is close enough.
Let's
Thank
not
you.
get into these
All right.
complicated.
So, but you'd think by the advocates of climate change that these cookies could have been cooked on the sidewalk in Copenhagen in the wintertime. But no, it wasn't that hot.
no, not
No.
in wonderful, wonderful Copenhagen.
And the rhetoric was hot, but in fact the accomplishments were not.
Well, now why is that, Jeff?
Well, because the major countries in the world could not agree about by how much to reduce heat-trapping gases, carbon dioxide in particular. They couldn't agree about how much to hand over to developing nations to inspire them to do more green development.
Right.
Those two things. So, except for a small agreement to hand over a small amount of money, relatively speaking, nothing that was agreed to was binding in Copenhagen.
And the bottom line is that nothing has changed when it comes to human nature and nations. That is, nations act in their own interest, not in the broader interest. And the developing nations don't want to be hamstrung in their struggle to become second and first world nations, and they need to produce goods, and that means they have to use carbon fuels.
That's right. There's also a lot of ill will, I think, between the developing and the developed nations. The developing nations don't trust the big nations, and they say, okay, if you want us to stunt our growth, you're going to have to pay us to do so.
Right. It's kind of, yeah, and they have a point. I mean, you can't argue with them. At least I can't.
Well,
in fact, I'm not even going to argue with you.
Anymore.
Because we're out of time. But thank you very much, ladies and germs.